Whoa, hello. Sorry about that. I spaced out. Well, that's probably a good indicator for how concise and clear and with it I'm going to be this time around. I'm on cold medicine, everybody, so I'm a little bit fuzzy, hazy, weird, wonky, blurry, slow, not bright, but I'll do my best. I'm going to do this anyway. I've been pretty good, you guys have to admit. I've been pretty good every 4 months. Every week just turned into every 4 months. I've been done it every Thursday for a little while here, and I'm very glad about it. And I'm loving the consistency of my weeks. I have this, new thing where I'm trying to take my time with things, yet do little things on certain days of the week, like I told you guys about, where it's exercise, light exercise on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and a little tiny one on Monday, even if it's just like running up and down the stairs a couple of times. Just a little bit. And then the watering the plants on Sunday, preferably. And if I miss it, that's okay. I'll do it Monday. Whereas old me would have been like, well, the biggest piece of shit on earth because I didn't water them on Monday. I watered them on Monday morning. I don't have room in my life for that kind of extreme talk anymore. I just don't. And so I'm doing a better job forgiving myself. Am I behind on about a million things? Yes. Do I need to reach out to certain people, check in on them? Yes. I'm in need of one certain kind of doctor appointment. Speaking of mammogram, I shared with you guys that I got my mammogram last week. Well, great news for me is that this almost never happens to me. There's always something wrong inside these breasts. But this time, totally clean slate. Nothing was wrong. So I got the letter in the mail. The minute I saw the letter in the mail, I felt like one of those college kids or high school students waiting for their college letters, that you see on TV, or maybe if you have kids in real life. I was like, yes, I got the letter. That means I'm clear, because otherwise they would have called me. So, but my thoughts go out to every woman in the world who has to go through this. It's just like a Russian roulette every time you go, and you got to go every year when you're 40 and above. I've had to go since my 20s, and it's no fun. But anyway, I love having good news to report. And I had a fun weekend with Erica in town. She ended up getting sick and having a cold, which I think is a little bit what I have, but mine doesn't seem as severe as hers. But we had fun anyway, because we were going to go to an island and take the ferry out and go to my favorite bookstore and go to this fabric store that she's a quilter, so I thought she would like. We didn't do any of that. The most we did was go outside, and I took her for a drive, and when we went to get like Gatorade for her at the grocery store. And then we did go to a restaurant and got burgers. I got an Impossible burger and she got a real burger, and they were amazing. So that was fun. But we just hung out. She taught me how to knit. So now I can crochet and knit, and the knitting is going really well. I thought I would be terrible at it, but I'm kind of like cruising right through it, and I'm already making a bag out of my beginning knitting squares. So that's exciting for me, because I think knitting is beautiful, and I only knew how to crochet up until now. Some of you are like, I didn't even know there was a difference. Well, there's a big, massive difference. So anyway, that felt good. What else? Oh yeah, we watched Basic Instinct, because neither of us had ever seen it. And I love an erotic thriller, so I don't know why I hadn't seen it yet, but I hadn't. And holy moly, that is an intense movie. Sharon Stone is so hot, it's insane. I don't think anybody's ever looked better than she looked in that movie. It was crazy. But really weird sex scenes, like the beginning scene, the opening scene of that movie is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I don't even know what's going on. And Michael Douglas is a total piece of shit in that movie, by the way. He deserved to get murdered. By the way, he didn't get murdered, so I didn't just give anything away. But now I gave it away that he didn't get... Anyway, sorry, spoiler alert for Basic Instinct, which everyone's already seen, but he was a really big problem. He totally raped his girlfriend in one scene, and nobody even cared about it. Like, I've never heard anyone talk about that. We just talk about Sharon Stone's vagina. So anyway, I think I've said anyway a million times. That was very fun. We binge watched the reality show that I cannot believe how good it was, The Circle. Highly recommend The Circle on Netflix. And then we watched the beginning of Cheer, another documentary reality type show, which is really near. It's about a what is it? A junior college cheer squad, and it's in Texas, really near where I went to college. So I loved that. I really love that. I was bawling during the last episode. So if anyone's wanting to know a little bit about what goes into a college cheerleading program at a junior college in almost East Texas, that's the show for you. But it's very, very touching show. So way better than I'm making it sound. And The Circle, I don't even know where to begin with that show. These people it's like a social networking reality game show. And even if you hate social media or anything like that, or reality shows, this is kind of the show to watch. I think this is its own special thing. All right, I've got questions for you at the end. I'm gonna ask you some questions at the end of this, but right now I'm gonna launch into reading. What do I have here? Today I'm gonna be reading, I've read from this before, Blaga Dimitrova. Don't know how to say it, but she's a Bulgarian writer. I've read her on here before. She was born in 1922 and died it doesn't say on this book because this is an old book, but 2003, I believe. There's a nice little note in here from my friend Kayla. Dearest Robin, this little care package has taken way too long to get sent. We've been collecting goodies for you for almost a year. LOL. At last, here it is. I hope you like the books and local plant pressings. We love and appreciate you so much. That's from Kayla and Laura, who I love so much, who are getting married this spring, and I get to go to their wedding, and I get to do a reading. The first time I've done a reading at a wedding since doing this podcast, and I'm picking out the poem for them. So I'm still, if anyone has any ideas for me about a beautiful poem to read at a wedding for two badass women, let me know. All right, I tagged about 1 million pages in this book when I first read it. I've been re-looking at it little by little, and I don't know what I'm going to read to you, so hold on. And by the way, I'm drinking some lemon ginger tea, and it makes me want to throw it. It's so gross. I always thought I liked it, but I just wish I could drink coffee all the time. It's the only thing I like. Okay, hold on. Also, while I'm looking for which one I want to read, I'm trying to decide. I wish I could do like a quick take, like get your responses right now. I'm starving, but I've been feeling so kind of under the weather that I haven't wanted to make dinner, and I'm trying to decide between things. I went and bought myself soup, so chicken noodle soup is option number 1. Option number 2 is what I've been eating a lot lately. I think I mentioned this last week, where I just make rice and broccoli and the salmon burgers from Costco, which are so good. So I could either do that, like always, or I have the Rosarita vegetarian refried beans, which I'm obsessed with. I doctor them up with my own seasonings and stuff, but just like bean and rice tacos or a burrito or whatever, I can't decide. Anyway, maybe me talking this out. I don't know why you're not here. It's like I think I'm talking to you guys. I clearly have a mental issue because it feels like I'm going to get a response, but I'm not. If I do get a response, it'll be tomorrow probably from you. So, oh God. Anyway, hold on. I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, I figured out which poem I want to read. And this, by the way, is from Ivy Press in Princeton. And, damn. Oops, sorry, everybody. God, that was disruptive. And this was published, Ivy Press in Princeton. This book was published in 2002. I'll put a link in the description so you can go find it for yourselves. And this one is definitely no wedding poem, but I love it. It mentions violence and love and All right, so here we go. Old song in a new voice. Every new love is a murderer. Without batting an eye, it kills all former loves. Oh, with what an innocent smile it thrusts a knife in the back of the one and only, last and first love. It has accomplices everywhere. A delayed bus, a sudden downpour, or whatnot. Freedom is its alibi. This tryst looks like an escape from oneself. That trip, awake, where death is present, incognito. And when a love is new, no longer, a knife waits for her, wielded secretly by the next new love. Time goes by, and you understand that love is classified according to old rules. New, newer, and so forth. Damn, that is one harsh ass poem. And I love it though. There's a lot of truth to that, in my opinion. As sad as that is. Oh, here's a note from Laura on the back. Hi, Robin. Hope you enjoy all of these little treats. We sprinkled some sage in the package for good luck. Let me know what you think about the books. Sorry this has taken so long to get to you. My cat will miss this box so much, but hopefully she'll get over it. If not, you may have to send it back. Oh man, I should have sent it back. That would have been nice. Anyway, that's sweet to have a message from both. Yeah, it is funny because whenever I've gone through this with people or myself, it's weird. I mean, this sounds horrible, but people you think you were in love with at a certain point, once that's over, you're like, was that even love? I don't know if that is. So that's what happens sometimes. Anyway, the book is called Scars by Blaga Dimitrova, and I highly, highly recommend it. Questions. Here are my questions. Oh, no, actually, before I ask you questions, couple of nice thoughts. You guys have made me feel very good. You've been coming in. You've been subscribing. You've been rating the podcast. You've been giving me reviews, and I've been so happy as a result. I know I was kind of being a baby the other day, but I really don't care. That was upsetting to see a 1-star review and to know that it came from personal shit, you know? But anyway, I want to thank A.W. Guerrero. I want to thank S. Allen 4, and I want to thank Murdad G. And Murdad G, I'm going to read this one out loud. Murdad, thank you. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's your full name or if that's all smushed together, and I just don't know how to say it. So, this title of this review is called That Friend in a Far Cafe. Robin is like one of my old friends back in Tehran, where she was always in this particular cafe talking about her day, asking a million questions, and at the end, reading something beautiful. Everyone needs that one friend. That was so nice, and thank you very much. And by the way, is it Tehran or Tehran? That's the only way I've ever known how to say it. I've always wanted to say it because I read Reading Lolita in Tehran, and I still don't know how to say it. But by the way, I know I've mentioned this on here before, never make fun of people for not knowing how to pronounce things. Because a lot of times that means people are readers, like they've read it and they know it, but they don't know how to say it. And that's often the case with me. And I also don't, I do have a couple of reading friends, but I don't have that many friends who are as immersed in literature and poetry as me. So it's not like I sit around talking about this shit with everybody. You know, this is my chance to talk it out. This is the whole reason I do this podcast, to get out all of my excitement towards what I'm reading. So, I mean, that's no excuse, I guess, for not knowing a geographical location. But I usually read the news too. I do not enjoy video news. I don't like watching news. I like reading news. So how am I supposed to know how to say very many? I don't always know how to say things. So I'm not going to be embarrassed of that because I think there's a lot of pressure to know to not say, you know, Nabokov instead of Nabokov, or, you know, Iran, Iran. You know, we're all doing our best. Let's all chill out a little bit. But anyway, Merdad G, this was the nicest note. And also S. Allen and Aguero, Rasa. I'm just kind of reading the ones who were copied to me. Tom the Reviewer. God, this makes me very happy. And you know what? Thank you very much. Anyway, enough of that. Questions for you before I go. How often do you get headaches? And are you okay with getting Advil or Tylenol in your system? Some people say no. I remember I used to take yoga from a guy who told us the worst thing we can do with our lives is take Advil or Tylenol for a headache. I was like, okay. He kept talking about you're supposed to feel all of these things. That's what it is to be a human, to be in pain. So I don't know. I take Advil when I have a headache. Do you feel you get enough sleep? I feel like I ask that all the time because I'm constantly consumed with this. I slept until 1 p.m. today. That's right. I woke up at 9 when my alarm went off. I went to sleep at 2 a.m., woke up at 9, and then I felt how I was feeling, and I knew if you've got a cold, you just better sleep it off. That's all. So turned off the alarm, buried myself with a pillow over my head, and didn't wake up until I woke up, and that was 1 p.m. And do you think I felt bad about it? Hell no. I felt great about it. And I felt kind of good all day, even though I'm sick. I kind of feel great. Like, this has been a great day. What did I eat for lunch? Oh, I had some other soup from the store. French mushroom bisque, really good, with saltines in it, and a half a sandwich. and I loved it. Oh, and then I ate some chips and an apple. Have you guys heard about these new cosmic apples? Cosmic crisp apples. Number one, they're huge and very crisp. They make Honey Crisp apples look like nothing. And they also do not get brown. You can like leave them out after you cut it open because they're too big to eat the whole thing a lot of times. And they're, wait, did I already talk about this? Because I think I'm really obsessed with these Cosmic Crisp apples. So I either told you guys or my mom, and now I don't know. Have you seen the Wendy's training videos called Hot Drinks and Cold Drinks? If not, okay, I'm going to link it. Let me write this down to remember. Okay, link it. Link. I'm writing it down. You got to check this shit out. I've been obsessed with these for about 5 years. I can't get enough of them. I used to go to Wendy's every Friday night with my parents when I was a teenager, and I loved it so much. If I had only known that around that same time, these people were training with the most like banging video and music you've ever had for a training video. I had training videos for working at Chick-fil-A. I wonder if they still do that. Anyway. Okay, let me think of two more nice questions, positive questions. What was the most perfect day of your life? Like, just explain that to me. Or make it up. What does a perfect day look like to you? I think I could go on and on, but mine is a very leisurely day. I know that. Like, get up when you get up, not as late as 1 p.m., but get up, have a very light breakfast with maybe like one pastry and some fruit and lots of coffee and read. I kind of like the idea of not talking for a long time. Like, just even if you're with somebody that you love, you're just going to be quiet for a while. Just read and be quiet and sit together and have a cat get into your lap or a dog by your feet or outside and there's birds around, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, I see a picnic table in this scenario. And then there's a lot of walks. Anyway, you get the idea. That's the beginning. This is a cliffhanger. Next week, I'll tell you the nighttime stuff. And lastly, who is the most fascinating person you've ever known? I'd have to think about that for a while. There was a guy I met who I loved so much, Billy's uncle named Gary. And Gary was an explosives expert. Like, he was in charge of exploding buildings. You know, when they have to demolish buildings and do the detonation of some bomb inside or whatever. I know I'm not describing that right, but man, he was a truck driver on top of that. So between all the stories I could get, I remember I met him at a wedding and I couldn't get enough of hearing this guy talk. And he was like a through and through Nebraskan. So Nebraskans have great voices and Nebraskans are warm people. So I'm a Nebraskan. I'm not saying I'm those things, but hopefully I've got a little bit of it. Okay, you guys, this is it. It's almost 20 minutes. I keep talking. I love you guys so much. I love you for being supportive of each other and being good to yourselves and thinking about if you're getting enough sleep. I love you for giving yourselves a break. Forgive others. Forgive yourself first. Get the fuck out of here, you guys. I'll talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Coffee reaches the line. Pop a top on it, gets a lid every time. Wendy's coffee tastes so fine. Hot drinks really get you going. Warms you up when you feel you're slowing. Wendy's, we always serve it right away. And a smile